good evening. It is Sunday the 10th of April and had a rather enjoyable day taking the wife and 2 kids and soon to be 3 to Scarborough. Scarborough day at the beach. It was sunny outside. We didn't really have anything better to do apart from housework and ironing and all that usual crap, so decided to take a trip to the beach. Scarborough, if you don't know where Scarborough is, it's on the northeast coast of England. Usual British seaside town. Fish and chips on the, well, we didn't go on the beach for fish and chips because it was very sunny and very dry, but absolutely bloody freezing with the wind. So we had fish and chips at a little restaurant. We had an ice cream. There is a very, very good ice cream bar called Alonzi's, which is kind of slightly 50s feel to it. And it's fantastic. Every time we go to Scarborough, we've got to have ice cream at Alonzi's. So yes, very nice day. A bit wind beaten and a little bit chilly. Having just taken the dog out for a walk as well, it's not warmed up considering it's night time. It's obvious, but yeah, it's a bitterly cold day today considering how sunny it was. Anyway, I was going to say that I've noticed in the last few videos I've been getting longer and longer, kind of pushing the 15-minute mark, so I decided that I was going to try and make things a little bit quicker, and I was just rabbited on about what I've done today for the last minute and a half. So we'll crack on quickly. I'm going to do 2 tonight and I'll be as quick as I can so that I'm not taking up too much of your time. The first one that I'm going to have is this one, which is called, there's the camera, Inchmurrin. Now this was very kindly donated by Kirsty and Stuart, who have a blog called whiskycorner.co.uk. Fantastic couple they are. Kind of found them through Morton and Mike, and they're absolutely fantastic, as pretty much everybody in the whisky community is. They've very kindly sent me some samples through the post, and I will be endeavouring to get through them along with all the others. So this is the first one, and I will be returning to the others that they kindly donated as we proceed. But this particular one, Inchmurrin, is actually from a distillery called the Loch Lomond distillery. Now Loch Lomond is here, just above Glasgow on the west coast, home to a fantastic golf course that I think holds the Scottish Open every year, and I was very, very lucky to play because I think it's about £200 a round. And was just a phenomenal golf course. Now the distillery is a little bit further down from where the loch is, and it was founded in the mid-70s. I can't remember what exactly year it was because I didn't actually get a chance to note it down, but it was early to mid-70s. It was set up specifically to kind of go towards blends and kind of main brands. It was an American company called Barton Distillers who took it over in 1976, I'm going to say, a few years after it had opened. Now, it was mothballed in 1984, but then in 1987 a company called Glencatrine Bottlers, essentially, bought the distillery and reopened it with a view of using it purely as stock. They were an independent bottler beforehand, but they wanted their own distillery to use as stock for their blends and their brands. Now, their main brand is one called High Commissioner, which I've only encountered a few times in pubs, but apparently is the 5th biggest selling blend in the UK. And Loch Lomond is very, very useful as a distillery because it has 2 traditional pot stills. It's also got a coffee still that makes grain whisky, and it's the only distillery in Scotland that has both pot stills for single malt and a grain distillery as well, a grain still as well. They also have 4 other stills that are called Lomond stills. Now, this isn't named after Loch Lomond. It's actually for the Inverleven distillery. I think it's the person that designed the still, but it's essentially a pot still that instead of having a swan neck that then tapers off, it's actually what are called rectifiers, which are kind of like metal sheets that you can open and close, and depending on how far up the top of the still you go, depends on the sort of richness and depth of the actual spirit that runs off. So this one distillery has the capability to make multiple types of whisky, whether it be for blends or for single malts or anything like that. So you can kind of tailor the type of whisky you want to make for whatever it is that you're producing it for. So it's very, very useful for Glencatrine to own. The company, I believe, I don't think it actually was bought out. They're actually called the Loch Lomond Group now, but I believe it's still the same company because on their website they're still advertising High Commissioner is one of the blends that they do. Loch Lomond is the main single malt brand, and that's the one that if you can find it, you will tend to find. But it's another one of these that, because it's being used for bigger selling products, and there's more demand to go into, say, High Commissioner, there's not that much of it available as a single malt. But Loch Lomond is kind of the brand as the single malt. Inchmurrin is actually the name of an island in the middle of Loch Lomond, and they have a couple of other single malts that they have released. It's rare, it's not easy to get hold of, but Inchmurrin is probably like the next one that you'd be able to find in terms of availability. But they have the capability to do peated malts as well, and they get really hard because they just tend to go in the blends. They're not going to make an awful lot of it, and it's used as the flavour for the blends that they're making. So I'm intrigued to know what this is like, because this is quite difficult to get hold of. Now, this was relaunched in 2015. This is the miniature that Kirsty and Stuart sent me. This is what it looks like, and you're looking at about 35 to 40 quid for this, and it's 12-year-old, bottled at 46%, which is always good. I'm noticing a lot more now. 46% tends to be the norm rather than a 40%. There's a really nice sweetness to this as well. There's a good colour on it. I'm not sure if you're going to pick up the colour, but I didn't catch where it was, what casks it used, but I'm willing to bet with that colour, unless they have added some colouring, which is possible, and I would guess probably more than likely, but yeah, it's kind of got that slightly artificial carameliness to it. I'm willing to bet it's possibly bourbon cask because of the dark fruitiness that's coming off. If it's sherry cask, it might be something like Oloroso sherry, but I would guess that they probably put that on the label because that tends to be quite a good selling point. There's a nice richness to it. It's slightly grassy, slightly floral. On the front label, it does talk about floral notes of peach blossom, pear, golden barley, and vanilla. Don't quite get the pear. Peach blossom, I have no idea what that smells like, so yeah, alright, whatever. I don't go around smelling trees that much, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, there is a lightness to it. There's a nice rich fruitiness underneath, but then on top there is quite a fresh florally feel to it. And it is slightly grassy. No, I still can't get that pear. Although I do get it on the palate. Very much so, actually. Oh, really pear. Yeah. Now maybe that's just my subconscious going, you've just read pear, that's what you're going to taste now. But definite pear, nice, there is vanilla on there, there's apricots as well. Maybe peach blossom, who the hell knows. But peach and apricot and kind of soft pink fruits, almost a bit of watermelon in there as well. There's a nice heat from the 46%, but it's not overpowering. There's a lovely richness to it. It's really delicate with a nice undercurrent of kind of very soft spice. Very soft spice, not anything harsh like a clove, kind of very soft nutmeg. It's but there is this kind of pear and peach, and it's like it's not quite fruit crumble with the vanilla-iness and the kind of flour doughiness that you get from a crumble. It's almost as though it's a fruit crumble where they've not kind of burnt the top of it that gets any caramelization. It's just like a slightly undercooked kind of peach and pear crumble. It's really nice. I wasn't expecting that much out of this, considering I kind of was a bit judgmental about the company that are behind it, but that's really good indeed. It's really soft fruits. Peach and nectarine and apricot. They're the overriding flavours that are there. It's soft. It's got a nice, sorry Chris Cook, it's got a nice prickle from the 46%, but again, it doesn't overpower anything, it doesn't get in the way, it just it lifts everything up. That is very good. I wasn't expecting that at all. Wow, that's fantastic. Really impressed with that. highly recommend that. And for if you can get that for about 30-35 quid, well worth it. Really, really good stuff. That's fantastic. Right, thank you very much for that, Kirsty and Stuart. I was really, really impressed with that. Right, I've just gone over 10 minutes, bugger. I'm going to try and keep it under 10. So I shall quickly rinse everything out and we'll crack on with the next one. Next one should definitely be quicker, he says. Right, see you in the next one.